Morning everyone. Welcome to the video about my story. Where to begin? I want to share my story about my life with anxiety and OCD. First, there's my cat. He's with me all the time, I don't know why. Hey. And I'm drinking a cup of coffee here, so try to explain everything as best as I can. You hear an accent. I will put the screen a bit more here, that the microphone is better. So, at this moment in time, I'm 35 years old. I'm married to my girlfriend, and that also has a reason, and that I will tell you in my story. As a child, when I was born, I was born way too early. I had a lung that wasn't good developed. And I was taken by the doctors, and my first half year was in the hospital. Different kind of machines, all that kind of things. So years later, that results in some operations, surgeries for some scar tissue that needed to be removed, and way after that I needed to start on some medicine for some hormonal things. So nothing big. Okay, okay. But as a child, I always been very scared. I don't know why, but that's the reality of it. And scared of everything. But I was very good in acting my whole life. So now I'm sitting here with no anxiety, but in the past I would sit here with a lot of anxiety, but also speak very fast and very movie. Like I had ADHD, but I don't have it, or maybe I haven't. But I was very scared of death, death of myself, what would happen, death of my father, death of my my telephone is ringing, death of my mother, and I don't know why, but it dominated my thoughts and how I was living. But I had also very strange things, you know. Things like I needed to have very soft socks because I couldn't stand feeling my socks. And also with paper. When I was writing down something on, just say, a paper, I had something between my hand and the paper because I didn't like the feeling of paper. I didn't like the feeling of paper. How crazy is that? So so this went on for years, but I lived a normal life, was happy. Nothing crazy, nothing that crazy at all to just escalate. But years went by, came into puberty, and into puberty I think around 14, a thought popped in my head. What if I can't stop sweating. And in a recent video I said OCD is a part of my life now 15 years, but it's longer because I'm now 35, so it's around more than 20 years. But it was less. Maybe a little bit so for the light. So that thought popped in my head, and because of the anxiety it produced, I sweated. A lot. And I was so scared of it. Not only scared of the feeling, because I remember I couldn't even handle the feeling of paper or socks. So my armpits were soaked the whole day from that point of on. And what do? You try every deodorant on the market. It doesn't work. You put your arms like this, but that reinforces the fear. Then that were all the things I did. So the next step was, what if I only buy black and white t-shirts? Black now, okay. But grey, you see sweat very much earlier than on black and white. But this also is counterproductive. So, and I kid you not, it's not a joke. I swear that I had like 80, 80, 180, the same shirts. The same shirts. 40 white, 40 black, didn't have any other. But the sweating problem went on and on and on for years. I think it stayed with me for 10 plus years. And it was really, I kid you not, and it is the real story, and it is sad. It dominated my mind in every aspect. Because when I'm on a date, I thought, what if she smells me? When I was with friends, what if she smelled me? And sometimes somebody smelled me, and it was horrible in my head. Because of I was so scared, I was sweating. So that topic stayed a long time, and I didn't even know this was OCD or something. I thought I had hyperhidrosis. If you look it up on the internet, I don't know if it's called in English this, but hyperhidrosis, so you will find it. It's a disease or something that you sweat a lot. And there are different kind of methods to combat that. So what you can do is, first of all, you can inject Botox. Second, you can cut your sweat glands in a surgery, and then you will stop sweating. But your sweat glands are there for a reason, you know, because it needs to cool down your system, your body. And you're making anxiety, energy, heat because of the anxiety. And when you have anxiety, in most cases you experience heat. So it will come through other parts of your body if you cut the glands. That is possible. So I was looking into the whole sweating world, and at first I bought heavy metal deodorant spray that was not, it was 30 ml or something, sprayed it in my armpit, and it worked really good. The aluminium salts, or the aluminium, high quantity of it will shut down your glands, but you know that's not healthy at all, because you're putting a lot of heavy metals into your body. So, and my biggest issue was with it, I sprayed so much to be sure, OCD, to be sure I couldn't sweat anymore. In it, exactly here spray, here spray, here spray, here spray, here spray. Everything needed to be coated. But the irritation of that stuff was really bad. I had so sore armpits. There were my skin were tearing. It was crazy. It was crazy. So after a few years doing that, and had a pretty normal life, but still dominated my mind, because when I really was scared, it came true. I thought, let's try the Botox route. So at that point, it costed like, because we have a good insurance system here, but if you don't have an indication for hyperhidrosis, that I didn't have because I was so ashamed of it, so I wouldn't go to any doctor. I only used the forums and that kind of things. I needed to pay for myself, so it was like 400 euros or something, I think. And you need to repeat it every 6 months. So 800 euros, didn't have a lot of money that time, so that was a lot of money. But it was one of my biggest problems. Okay, but here it comes. I go to the doctor. I think I did it 2 times. Don't know. And indeed, after a few days, my sweating was gone. I couldn't sweat anymore. I thought this is a miracle. Yeah, that was a miracle, but because I didn't realize I had OCD and how it works and what it does and what it is, and the OCD shifted to something else. So the moment the sweating problem released, I was having a job, sitting with a client, and when I was in the conversation, a thought popped up in my head: what if I'm going to stutter in this conversation or the rest of my life? And from that point on, I was terrified of stutter. And I was going to stutter because I was so terrified. I couldn't focus on anything. So I lived my whole life doing things to get approval from other people in my life or around me. So I was scared of stuttering because other people could criticize me or have an opinion about me, and I hadn't any confidence, but I was very good at acting. So So what I did, I got a job, or maybe I had school, then dropped out of school because I was all over the place. I wanted to party and that kind of things. So my whole life has been set up to have a certain image of myself, a confident, good in communication guy, and who has it all together. But that was far from who I was. I was not confident, hadn't had it in order with myself. And another thing, maybe a little bit shamey, but yeah, okay, it's good. I couldn't also for a period of time couldn't pee anymore in a public toilet because I was so scared it wouldn't work. I don't know why. But also the rejection that I couldn't do it in a public space. So very strange, but it also in the basic it's all the same things, only different, only a little bit different, but they're all based around rejection and opinion of others. So to finish that last thing, to make an image of myself of a confident guy and that kind of, I leased a car that was too expensive in my eyes now. I bought certain clothes that would support that image of me, and there's nothing wrong with a nice car or nice clothes, but it's the intention, you know. If you really like the garment or really like the clothes or the car and you have the money and you're not having stress about it or it's too pricey for your income, then it's no problem at all. But yeah, when you're doing it for others, yeah, that's a problem. So okay, so that's just a normal life. Then it is February 2019, so that's 6 years ago. At that point I had a very good business in the recruitment, had I think we were with six persons or so, and we were delivering talent to manufacturing companies, very big ones. And because I dropped out of school and had something to prove, I was full into getting a lot of money. Okay. But everything else didn't matter. Work, making money, drink, party, all kind of things. In February 2019, my business partner organized a trip to Miami for work. And I have a photo of that, and I will put it on the Instagram. It is morning. I went to the airport, and in the line, waiting to go into the plane, I got one of the biggest panic attacks of my entire life. But I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was there. I drank the last day before going. I had a party. I drank a lot, so I was hangover as shit. And I was in the line, and yeah, I get it. So much anxiety, so much panic, and I think, what is this? I go in the plane, and I had a panic attack the whole flight for like 10 hours straight. Couldn't eat, couldn't talk, couldn't sit. Yeah, I would sit, but I was not there. I was so panicked. So panicked. You have no idea. All the anxiety of my whole life came in that moment. Like something broke. I don't know what. We landed, and I needed to be honest with my business partner. I said, yo, I don't know what it is, but I was in total panic, crying, yelling. And what the craziest was, here started my journey with OCD, really. Here exploded it. It exploded in all areas of my life. I will, let me have a look. We're back. Yeah, I just needed to check if it recorded, because otherwise I had 20 minutes of not recording. So we're back. So we landed in America, Miami, I think. Yeah, and I came clean with my partner, my business partner, and he saw me, and he never saw anyone like this, and he was shocked. So, but that also helped me, because he knew the severity of what I was feeling and going through. So it was like my head exploded with anxiety, fear, panic. So the first night I hadn't eaten in the whole day. And he said, do you want something to eat? First I said, I need beer. So I had a couple of beers, and I thought, whoa, I feel better. Okay. So we grabbed the pizza. I said, no, maybe it was just a little, just a little panic. I don't know. I feel better. Oh. So we had a meeting the next day. So, but also, what's very strange is I used to smoke like a pack a day for 5 years straight. Then I stopped because it's so unhealthy. And I didn't smoke for years at that point. Maybe, no, not. And I landed there, was so stressed, and you guessed it, I buy a pack of cigars. Just smoke, just try to alleviate the anxiety and the panic. So I went to bed. I went to bed, and I wasn't used to skyscrapers, very high buildings. So we were in Miami, and we were really high. I'm not used to that. We haven't that big of buildings here. So I was lying in bed, just had some beers, feeling a little bit better, and then boom. What if I jump out of the window? Can you imagine? And because the fear reaction was so high, and because his OCD is so, it feels so real, I believed it. So I barricaded, so I put stools before the windows, put everything on lock, not throw away, but put the key away. All compulsions, all compulsions. And that is the start of my very bad time with OCD. Because from that point it only escalated more. And now I can talk about it quite calmly, and but at that point I couldn't talk with anybody about it. So I was in Miami still, and here a few days later came the main team for that state, locked on for 24/7 for 3 years straight. A few years before Miami, I heard someone say, I can't stop thinking about my breathing. You guessed it. I was in Miami feeling horrible, and then this thought popped up in my head, like, what if I can't stop thinking about my breathing? You have no idea what happens then. That was really that was just as intense as going on that airplane. I thought I was getting fucking crazy. From that point on, I noticed my breath 3 years straight, every intake and out of breath. And that is very strange. Because you can't run away from your breath. The breath is gonna stay there forever till you die. The only time I didn't feel it was when I was sleeping. But you can guess, because of the panic, because of I was overworked also because I worked very hard. Because of my lifestyle, drinking, not taking care of my mental health, physical health. I was always going to the gym and looking good, but in the sense of have a fit body, but that was the only thing. So I developed also a very fear around sleeping. So, but I will come to that. So I was in Miami and I called from Miami. I called the doctor back in my home country. I made an appointment and I landed, went straight to the doctor the next day, and I tried to explain what I was going through, but yeah, I had the idea that she doesn't understand what I was saying. I say, I'm so scared. Went to the air, just told the whole story. But I can't stop thinking about my breathing. And she said, what do you say, Luc? Everybody breathes. I said, yeah, I understand, but I'm scared of it. How can I not think about my breathing? She said, what are you meaning? What are you meaning? What do you mean? And so I said to her, I need to go to a real psychiatrist because I think I'm gone crazy. So I went there. And that was the point that I was feeling at the worst, because I went there and I explained my story. And I said, can you please tell me what's wrong with me? Because I can't stop thinking about my breathing and it driving me crazy. In every aspect, I think about my breathing. When I am gymming, when I have sex, when I'm cooking, when I'm sitting, when I'm walking. Every woken hour, I was thinking about my breathing. And she didn't understand what I was saying. And I was by a professional, you know. And that was what I realized from, oh my God, this is severe. Nobody understands it. She replied to me, hey Luc, what do you think about an ADHD test? An ADHD test? I said, for what? Yeah, I think you have ADHD. Okay. I didn't took the test. And second, she said we need to do EMDR. So it's like a lamp moving from this way to this way, relive the trauma. Okay. So, sitting there, nobody understands me, and thinking constantly of my breathing and having 100% anxiety the whole day. At that point of time, I was scared of sleeping, and I just moved to another house with my girlfriend at the time. Came back from Miami and couldn't sleep in bed anymore. I slept for, I think, more than half a year, 3/4 year on the couch. And because my ears were ringing like shit, like there is a concert, because of the anxiety, I slept with the dishwasher on the couch for more than half a year. I woke up. I couldn't sleep longer than half an hour to an hour and wake up in a bath of sweat. A bath of sweat. You have no idea. You have no idea. Gewoon, if someone poured a whole bathtub of water over me, from top to bottom, completely wet. Really wet couch. Maybe a little dirty, but yeah, it is what it is. So, I didn't sleep, I think, for almost a year, not more than 3 hours a night. And you think people can't stand that, but you can. You can function and sleep 3 hours, no problem. I worked. I had only 1 week free and worked from that point on, even with 3 hours of sleep and feeling shit. But I did it. So, what's important to tell you also is that 2019 I was 6 years younger, so I was 29, and around 24 my father passed away of cancer, and maybe it contributes to a little of anxiety because they didn't know what he had until the last day that he passed, and I haven't said him goodbye, or I was too late. So it's very sad story. It was a really nice father, but I think he also had OCD, but I will come to that later. But yeah, it's sad. So next thing, I had sensory motor for like half a year. I lie in bed and boom, I experience globus hystericus, globus feeling it's called, because I had so much anxiety, so much panic. My muscle tension in my whole body was crazy, my neck, my back, but then it came here. Because I was so scared of my breathing, this area, you have here muscles, and that were in tension, so it feels like I have a kind of tumor or something there. So I went crazy again, just like the time on the airplane, just like the thought about my breathing. I was in total panic. So I went to a doctor. There's nothing wrong with my throat. But I said, what is wrong? She said, I don't know what it is. So I went to a speech therapist and I had relaxing massage she said it's only muscle tension. I was so scared of it. So this went on and on and on. I went to hypnotherapy, and also I went on my own to a retreat in Switzerland for a week, or no, longer, 1.5 weeks. And yeah, it won't cure your OCD, but I learned some things over there for my from getting better from OCD, because it were strange days, but I was waking up in the morning. You were not allowed to say anything in the morning, and then later on you had different practices, but also feeling your feelings. And because I had so much panic attacks at that moment, the guy, the guru, said to me, Luke, just lay down and feel what you feel. And then, because you lie down and the panic comes up, and not pushing it away, it went out. And that was a very, that's the right thing, but freeing moment. I thought, oh, I'm not gonna die, okay. But I was far from getting better. So I think it was then 2020 or something. So a year after my, more than a year after my initial outburst of OCD and anxiety in 2019, wasn't 1% better. Maybe only in the panic attacks, but in the constant anxiety, the constant fixation on my breathing, 0% better, 0% better. Okay, so now this is this is an honest story. In December 2020, epidemic time, my business was bad because a lot of manufacturing companies were scared of the economic crises, so they were putting off hiring people for a few months. I needed to let go my recruiters. And the day everything went okay, everything in the sense of we stopped, we let go of the personnel. 2 weeks later, we heard that my girlfriend, and I need to say it right, metastatic cervical cancer. That is the diagnosis she got. So it was, at first, she had a tumor, a cancerous tumor in her cervical. We got an operation to remove the whole part of her body. Let me look how it's called. She removed the whole uterus or womb, and like 15 lymph nodes. And as to be sure to get better, she also needs radiation and chemo. She was at that time 28 or something, I think. Total panic. Again. And now on health. But also relationship. OCD kicked in, bang! We did it. Doctors came, she came back from the operation or the surgery. She said everything went fine. We think it's not spread to the lymph nodes. Just to be sure, we sent it to a pathologist or something, and he will look into every cell of the removed lymph nodes, and then we are for certain. A week later, at Christmas, it spread to lymph nodes. It's stage 3 metastatic cervical cancer, if I call it right. Cervical cancer, yeah. So, her chances of survival if you compare it to someone who has none, she had a chance of survival, but it was not really high. I think it was like 40% survival rate. But we gave it all. We gave it all. She gave it all. We went all in. The most heavy form of chemo, the most heavy form of radiation, and her uterus was already gone. So, but you need to realize that around this age, all my friends were getting kids. She can't have any kids anymore, and it's very hard for her. But it's also not the end of the world, but it is a big consequence of her disease. So, and another aspect is that she's in menopause, so yeah, she needs to have hormones for the rest of her life. And also because she removed, like, if you have from here till here, I think, or here, she removed around more than 15. I don't know if it's like 20 or 25, maybe also like lymph nodes, and they drain the fluids within your body into your system or something. And because they're removed, you need to wear a very tight compression pants, and it's not comfortable at all for the rest of her life. And she isn't, and if you wear a skirt or something, it is a little bit bigger, you see it behind, under it, so it has a lot of, also with your feminine, if you call it, if you feel like a woman. Yeah, she was really positive and always has been, but yeah, it is an impact on your life. So, and there I learned how to sit with uncertainty, because when you have 40% chance to survive, you have 60% chance to die. If you have 100 people, 60 people will die, 40 people will stay alive. So we had luck. It's now 2025, and her first scan was clear. And then with this kind of form, I don't know why, with a lot of other forms they will scan every half year, every 3 months. But if the first scan here is good, if the disease if this cancer that she had comes back, it in the most times it comes back very soon. And if it doesn't happen, then you have a very good chance of survival. So we're now 5 years further. Ooh. Since the diagnosis, and 4 years further than her treatment. So all the time I sat in uncertainty, she also, and that is very good for your OCD, but it is not good for your head. So I had also some relationship OCD, losing her to cancer, losing her to other kinds of things. And you need to know that I had a very bad relationship with cancer in my head, because the last time someone diagnosed with cancer, my father died the same day. So I was very scared. I almost passed out a few times with talking to the doctors. I was very scared, very scared, very scared. Just as scared as going into the plane, but more scared, because it's now really serious, you know. So from that point on, I had some other. So sensory motor is now is gone. I had it also with a little bit of saliva, a little bit of blinking, swallowing. See, I swallow. And but breathing OCD is gone. I'm not scared of it anymore. If I notice my breath, fuck it. I'm not interested anymore. I was so scared also that I stopped breathing, but yeah, we'll see. I don't know. But after the sensory motor, some other themes led. So what I said, relationship, but also harm OCD. But it stayed for like a half year. But it was really intense, you know. I was in the kitchen cutting tomatoes or something with a very sharp knife, and also a thought popped in: what if I hurt my girlfriend? Yeah, yeah, and that escalated for like a half year. I was so scared around knives, but I I wouldn't stop cutting. Then I was scared. Just cut, 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 cut. I exposed myself to a lot of it, but it didn't work. Maybe I was chasing the exposures. I was putting a knife through my neck and thought I maybe hurt myself and convinced myself I wouldn't do it, but it needs more than that. It's a part, but a very small. So, and a last thing that stayed for also a half year was health OCD for myself. For your information, it's strange, but yeah, it's the honest story. So, my dad had skin cancer for all his life, but it is not a melanoma or something, but it is yeah, let me see how we call it in English. It is the basal cell carcinoma, and it is, yeah, it's not, if you remove it, it's not that bad. But he had a lot of spots, so every few months you need to check up, had a few spots, let it cut out, and gone. He had it for like 40 years, so. But my sister has it also, and my little brother has it also. So, and I? So, I had a few spots on my leg and I was very scared. And then the first time I thought, ignore it. Just, yeah, what there is, you know, just go with uncertainty. But sometimes, easy, just see, maybe have a little discussion with my sister, what she thinks about the spots. And we made the decision, just go to the doctor. Really scared, pumping, my heart pumping when I was there. But it wasn't anything. So, but then, and you need to know, OCD is very, very convincing. So it can convince you of everything. So I was sitting down, just looking into the mirror or seeing myself, and I noticed this spot over here. And I went down the rabbit hole. Pure panic, pure panic. I thought it was a melanoma because I never saw it. I thought it was little, and some people had mentioned it in the last years from, oh, what's the matter with your eye? I said, it's just a spot, I don't know. Then I was looking really into my pictures, seeing, is it bigger, smaller than, looking into pictures of 6 years ago. Oh, it was a little bit less black as it now was. I think I'm gonna die, but I didn't want to go to the doctor. Really scared? I think no. But after a few months, I thought it was dominating my my mind again. I need to go. I went and it was nothing. Crazy, yeah? So, but this is in a nutshell my story. Some more things, but this is in a nutshell my story. I want to share this because not I want to feel pity for me or feel sorry for me, but just that you're not alone. Because when I had sensory motor back in 2019, I couldn't find any information about getting better from it. Sure, there was information about people having this problem, but nobody had an answer. So I was feeling so alone. So on the internet I couldn't find an answer. The doctors couldn't give me an answer, didn't understand me. And I couldn't find no one who could help me. But here I am. Better. Better from OCD, better from anxiety, better from depression, because I had it also as a byproduct for a long time. And still, I got OCD, but I don't feel it. I feel good. I have a good life. I'm happy. I'm not doing the recruitment business anymore. And enjoying life. Enjoying life. Have a drink here and there, have good food, doing a lot of exercise, I like it. Having a very good relationship with my partner. And it's a nice thing. When she got her diagnosis, and we didn't know the outcome, she just only had her surgery, hadn't had chemo, we hadn't had any results back. I proposed to her what the outcome would be. I couldn't care less. Just I wanted to give her. She was for me the one, and I wanted to give her the confidence that I would go for her. And I've been there every day when she had her radiation. Every day I went with her, went on the recruiting job in the car, called all the candidates and worked my ass off, because it was it was pandemic time, and I need to call twice as much to place someone somewhere, make new clients. But the nice thing of this all is that OCD can give you beautiful things. I don't say it isn't hard. I don't say I rather didn't have it, but I wouldn't be this good if I hadn't OCD. I made some significant change in my personality and who I am over the years. And on the other hand, if my girlfriend hadn't had her disease, I wouldn't be married now, because I didn't want to marry, because I didn't want to go in the spotlight. But when I gave her my commitment, she gave her commitment afterwards, and we are just good. Not a fairy tale, because everybody has his arguments, but we can trust each other. And I can be trusted, but she also. And we made a commitment. And now we're here. We bought a house together, and she works again. And maybe one point, I know it's on the list, but when she got her diagnosis, 2 weeks or 1 week before that, she quit her job. And when you quit your job here on your own, when you make the decision you quit, you won't get any financial support when you're sick. If you get laid off by your employer, then you get financial support. So I needed to call that car because there wasn't any money coming in. So she couldn't work for like a year, and then, no, longer, maybe 1.5 years. And then had a very simple job, because she didn't have the energy, needed to quit it because she hadn't had the energy because of all the operations and the chemo and the radiation. So also financially it was really tough, but we made it. And I worked very hard, she worked very hard, and now we're here, and I'm thankful for that. And but bottom line, how, even if you feel as bad as I felt or as bad as you can, know that I've been there just as worse. And look, you can get better. Always, always, always. Always. But you need to have the right information. You need to have the right information. Otherwise, you won't get better. Never. And I am convinced that if you don't do the work, if you don't have the right information, this will stay for you for the rest of your life. It won't get, maybe a little bit better, but you won't get better. And realize that since a few years, now it's possible to get better. But 50 years ago, you won't. People didn't even know they had it. I didn't even know I had it for 10 years. And if you look it up, OCD is one of the most debilitating mental illnesses on the planet. It has a very big impact on people's happiness. It has a very big impact on the capacity to earn a living and to do something productive, because it is really bad. But no, you can get better, always. So I will start also with coaching sessions. If you have any questions, please contact me, leave a message, and share this story on all platforms where you can have. Let's make people better. And let me know what you think about this movie. It was a long one, but thank you.